These are the eyes of a psychopath.
Toba is here. Kyle
So, Spooktober.
and Mr. Surge.
And here you
Made it.
Made it.
Surge.
Perfect timing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How we doing, Surge?
Chilling, bro. Chilling,
Yes,
y'all.
sir. Good. Always good to see you. Good to hear from you, brother.
Look at that. He's even got an orange drink right in the mood
Oh.
for
It's so funny.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wearing orange and he's drinking orange.
There you go. Yeah. What it is,
Nice.
don't worry about it.
Great.
Don't worry, kids. It's Fanta.
Just don't turn me into a pumpkin anyway, please.
It's Fanta, guys. Don't worry.
This is PG. This is PG.
Got the steelbook case of Tron.
That's 4K too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's hard. I like that. That's awesome. Yes, sir.
Since you missed it
Gotta
earlier.
Gotta pay
Yeah.
respects to the class.
Yes, sir. I like that. So DJ smart man, because when they go to cut it off, you have it. you ain't gotta look for it, and if they ain't got it, then you can't watch it. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, Don, I just used the website you gave me.
yeah, that
I'm
website
like,
got
oh, I don't
everything.
have Disney Plus. I'll just go on here real quick. There we go.
that website got everything, bro. Like everything.
Yeah.
Everything you can find. All right. Well, tonight we're about to dive into another episode of Spooktober. Tonight we're going to be reviewing the 1998 Soldier film starring Kurt Russell. Great film. Glad we get the opportunity to review this movie. But before we get started, Donald,
Kyle.
DJ.
Remy.
Surge.
And we are the Sci-Fi Nerds. But yeah, man, I'm glad we got to review this film. DJ, this was an awesome pick, by the way. Really good movie, man.
Yeah.
Really good. So I definitely enjoyed it. Before we get into the questions, how has everybody week been going? Everybody doing good mentally? Everybody feeling all right? Good.
Not doing too bad. I looked at my canvas and I was like, do I have anything to do for homework? And I have 3 scripts to read, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Because my instructor is weird, because like he like literally posts them like I had to remind him to like post the like scripts last week, because he said that they're turned in Friday, so I'm assuming I'm like, okay, so Friday he's gonna like post them and like open them so we can look at them. Friday passed, nothing happened. Then halfway through Saturday, still nothing. So like I sent an email on, and he finally posted it like Saturday night at like 8 or 9. I'm like, you need to. I'm like, really, dude? So
he might be watching the stream.
Maybe, I don't know. If he is, oh well. I just called you out. Too bad. Too bad your job. Like, come on,
And Ramby's kicked out of directing.
oh well. I don't need freaking college. I can go direct on my own.
Oh man.
On Monday, Remy
Save some money that way.
dropped from this class.
Oh man.
I even went to a New York Comic-Con last week, and it was awesome.
Seemed like you had a blast, Kyle. Pictures were awesome, brother.
Thank you. It was.
No, you
We will
try
all
to
meet
get
up
there
at one of these days.
Yeah, that would be really great.
I gotta try.
We gotta,
do this.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. It gotta happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, time to jump into movie review. Kyle, I'll give you the first question. I'll start with you. First of all, is this your first time watching this film, Soldier? Have you seen it before?
I would say yes. This was like my first time watching this movie. I was able to rent it on Amazon.
Okay.
And going to see this movie, I wasn't really expecting how like maybe went from like it feels more like futuristic. It is futuristic, but I was like unaware that there's going to be some little dialogue into this movie, which is totally surprised, which I had no idea. I was going into this movie blind, not knowing there will be little of nonverbal communication, just for the main character at least. But
Yeah, I think he has only like 13 lines in the whole book.
Yeah, they said he spoke
Literally.
like he had a total of 104 words in this film.
I feel like Anderson kind of like just basically chose him to be a little bit quiet. That's why I kind of think this movie is.
So first question for you, Cal. How would you describe the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film? What pulled you into this film at the beginning of it?
First off, I'm really interested in the Anderson's film.
Mhm.
I'm very familiar with some of his B films, such as Resident Evil and Monster Hunter, and so many of his works.
Mm-hmm.
But when this was like before he directed Resident Evil, and I was going into the movie, and my expectations was like, I was like hoping there would be some more words, but no, it's okay. You don't really need words for a main character to like express. You could just understand where he's coming from. The environment, I would say, looks so like wow. It like was on Earth a moment ago, and now they went on to another planet, which was like a wasteland.
Mm.
It just feels like this is something how would maybe one day. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but maybe someday people might live on another planet. I don't think it's going to really happen. That's just me.
Okay. All right. And I will say, just my personal opinion with Kurt Russell having very few lines in this film, I do think he's one of the greatest actors I ever seen that don't have to say much, but you can feel his emotion when he's acting. I think he's really good at that. Like he doesn't have to say much. You can kind of feel it. So I think he is really good at that. He's exceptional at that, actually. DJ, how would you describe the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film? What pulled you in at the beginning of this film?
Well, I mean, it really sets, the backstory for the main character. Does a good job of establishing why he is the way that he is. I mean, there's one point in that first 10, 15 minutes, I think it's when he's like around 5 or something like that. One of the things that are playing overhead, in the background is you do not speak until you're spoken to.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's literally ingrained in them. They don't talk unless they're basically ordered to talk. So, but yeah, I mean, it's scary to think like, something like this could actually happen.
Yeah.
There's babies that are abandoned or, tragedies or whatever that leave, babies behind. Be easy for some kind of militant group to just come in, snatch them up, and raise them up to be, mindless killing machines.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what when I was watching, because you can literally see them being like trained up and prepped, trying to see but even from the kid that when they were jogging and the kid was kind of getting left behind, I'm like, oh no, like,
yeah,
so yeah, that was crazy.
yeah,
It was-
like,
Yeah, that was
It was
crazy.
okay.
Like I was getting flashbacks to the freaking the long walk I saw like a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh no. I was like, well, the guy that shoots the kid, aren't they? And I was like, yep, there they go.
So
that was crazy. So it's like they've literally been already, like you said, they're being programmed and trained up in the way they want them to be these killing machines. Remy, how would you describe the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film? What pulled you in?
I think the first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, I think are probably like the strongest, section of this entire film. Like it grabbed me because it's just like such an interesting and very dark subject matter where you have these kids that are like raised at a very young age and prone and shown all this violence, given all these like different orders, like you can't speak unless spoken to, showing mercy is a weakness, and the only thing you live for is to just fight. That's all a soldier does, and that's all they appreciate. It's just nothing but violence and war. And it's like, damn, I'm like, that's pretty dark. Okay.
Right.
And yeah, and then you have that scene where the kid gets shot, and so that kind of like shows you that like this movie isn't like really messing around. This movie, like, it means business when it comes down to it. Like, no, we'll show people die. Like, we're gonna show like the uglier part of this dystopian sci-fi world, and I kind of like appreciated that it like didn't hold back in that aspect.
I can't remember. There's a little hypothesis about this movie
Mhm.
that I can't remember if it was ever officially confirmed or not, but in a documentary that I was watching about this is potentially taking place in the same world and universe and time as Blade Runner.
Yeah, I read.
yes, I
so
have
the
heard
comments on that about this movie that it was in a certain world not only as Blade Runner but also aliens. They also said
That's crazy. I like
I
that.
think I heard about
That's
that
a cool
too.
concept. That's a cool.
Oh.
I like that.
I was like, oh crap. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. I'm like, of course. Like thinking about those other like universes, especially like the Alien franchise with Wayne Yutani and the way those soldiers are like equipped to take out these xenomorphs. You're like, yeah, I can kind of see that. They're act like a bunch of assholes, so I'm assuming like they're the same guys as the soldiers in this movie. And I think the strongest aspect of this entire movie is like the first 10 to 15 minutes. And like, yeah, you have Kurt Russell like not really speaking a lot, but you can tell from like his facial expressions and the way he acts that he's a cut above the rest, especially like in that moment where they have like that training going on where they have like those different mannequins whatever moving around and it's supposed to shoot the enemy, and one of them and you have the enemy right behind like a civilian, and Kurt Russell just like shoots the civilian and just shoots the enemy. So that like gives you the fact he's like, as long as the enemy gets taken out, that's all I care about. I don't really care about like civilian lives. And you see his other soldier buddy like hesitate, and he just goes for it. So that like kind of gives you like a good indicator about what his character is like, and it like feeds into what his development is going to be throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no, those some great points for me. Yes, sir. Sir, it's coming to you. How would you describe the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film? What got you pulled in?
Ooh, well, I did not see this movie when it went to theaters, if it ever did. I don't remember. I know it came out in 1998, but I know I did see it pretty soon after that. I guess maybe like 99, 2000, something like that. But I remember thinking like, man, like the first 10, 15 minutes is brutal. Like, you know, like y'all mentioned the kid that doesn't keep up with the other cadets, you know, gets shot. And then I actually think I remember the other scene that kind of like, oh, damn, not messed me up, but I remember thinking, man, that's crazy. Was the when they show the cadets, the 3 dogs versus the wild boar, the pig.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you just see that blood spilled on like the glass and stuff, and it was just, you know, desensitizing to death, you know, and you know, with kids there, and it's like that's wild, you know. That's I mean, I know we probably, I don't know what year Ender's Game the book came out, which I know is pretty brutal itself. I know we had the movie years later, but I mean, this was like 98, you know. Seeing something like that, I mean, I don't remember, for me when I watched it, I thought like, oh man, this is crazy. So yeah, so if I could describe, you know, like the first 10, 15 minutes in one word, it'd be brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal for sure. And I remember they let the dogs out and they had the hogs on one side. That was crazy.
And
Oh,
you
yeah,
the blood just freaking.
Yeah, you just see it go like, man, that was crazy. That was crazy. But nah, man, everybody gave some great points for that first question. For the second question, I'll come back to you. Kyle, how would you describe Todd's character throughout this film? What surprised you the most about him as this movie progressed?
To me, I think Todd, as a character, you could definitely like you could. Is his greatest strength. I have to put it together, like narratively and very emotionally. There's no like words, just a little bit of dialogue, but you can see like facial expression and body language where Todd conveys in this movie, which is really interesting. Like when you have like a character who's basically going through this change, going from being like a killing machine to now defender of people, which is a great twist for making the character to understand, and that way you could feel and get to know him more, which is I really like that. But I think the other way to describe about him, he's basically like, I want to say he's kind of like the Terminator, but not really a machine. He's basically like raised to be a killing machine, where he's just like forced to do what he has to do until he broke up, and after being defeated by his the tough dude, and he just basically just broke command after being rescued by the family, which is really nice. I love how the family got to make him more like it's transition for him to being a protector, and even also like the baby's protector too, which is really nice. I love how they like made Todd as a character.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with him from the beginning of the film to the middle of the film to the ending of the film, because you really start to really understand him more and more as the film progresses. You're able to kind of react to him from an emotional standpoint as well. So I thought they did a really, really good job with the character development throughout this film. DJ, how would you describe Todd's character throughout the film? What surprised you the most about him as this movie progressed?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely very stoic. And obviously he was trained, from a baby to obey orders, not question them, just do what he was told and complete the mission no matter the cost. And I think Kurt Russell did an amazing job with portraying, his uneasiness with civilians. And starting to experience, feelings and emotions for the first time. Like when he's standing there watching the lady, washing clothes and hanging them up and stuff. And, he's like looking at her, and you can tell that he's realizing that she's beautiful. It's the first time that he's acknowledging beauty. And, he doesn't approach her or anything like that because he doesn't know how to act on those emotions. He doesn't know how to act on those feelings. And then he starts shaking when she hugs him later.
Yes.
Because he's never felt that kind of touch. He's never felt warmth and compassion. It's always been from a distance or at the end of a stick beating them and stuff. So, so his progression of, being the soldier, but softening up while not softening up at the same time, I mean, the fact that he took on the whole squad of the new soldiers by himself and came out on top, shows that he didn't lose his edge by being with them for however long it was, because it was several months that he was there. But yeah, like just the progression and the fact that when they exiled him, he almost freaked out when he felt tears for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like, you could see the confusion on his face. Like, yeah, Kurt Russell definitely doesn't get enough props for how he did with this movie. Cause
yeah,
well spoken.
Like Carl Urban did an amazing job as Dredd, keeping the mask on the whole time and still emoting through it. Like you could tell what he was thinking. So, it's like that.
Yeah.
And then real quick, I wanted to add something. Serge, you mentioned Ender's Game. It was the full-length novel was written and released in 1985.
Cool.
So,
That's really interesting because I love how you
I read it in high school. I don't remember
Oh
when
my-
it came out.
So, and for those that aren't familiar with Ender's Game, it's a sci-fi fantasy novel by Orson Scott Card that centers around a kid named Ender who gets recruited into a child soldier program. But they're looking for geniuses that can lead military factions against an alien force.
Oh,
And
that
so-
sounds cool.
Yeah, and he has a couple moments where he defends himself against bullies. And
I like that. I'll check that out.
And
And
it gets
it's
very
brutal.
real. It
Yeah.
is brutal. Yeah. And it's funny, DJ, yeah, like that's what this movie reminded me of. But of course, I didn't read Ender's Game until like a few years later, which made a lot of sense and had to have been, some sort of mild influence on this movie.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, because this was an awesome movie, and you're right, DJ. When I was watching Kurt Russell's performance in this movie, I was like, man, he did a heck of a job, like playing this role. That's why I was like, he's always been one of the best, where he really don't have to say much, but you can kind of just feel like that raw emotion that he brings and that raw emotion that he gives, and it was awesome. It was amazing.
yeah, he did something very similar when he played Snake Plissken for the first time in Escape
yeah.
from New York.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know. I
was
and this is
thinking
to
about
me
Escape
one of his
from LA
most
too.
underrated pieces of work. Yes. Remy, describe Todd's character throughout the film. What surprised you the most as the movie progressed?
Well, I think DJ and Kyle like pretty like hit it on the nail on the head. I feel like when it came to Kurt Russell's acting, like I was very like I think impressed with how his body language and how his facial expressions could like tell a whole story about like what was happening inside his head. Like there are so many moments in the when he's like with the people on that planet where you just see him kind of like looking around and just like kind of like taking it all in. You can tell from like just the slightest bit of expressions he has, he's like never really seen this. Like this is the first time he's ever like witnessed some semblance of peace or like happiness or joy, and he's not really showing it, but you can just see it like it's almost alien to him. What, like just seeing all these people, like especially during that Christmas scene where like you have him just kind of like sitting there by himself, just like looking around at everybody, like just enjoying the holiday and everything. And eventually he like leaves because he starts getting flashbacks and PTSD about him being in a war zone. And you have that little small moment where like he's on top of the ceiling and he's looking down, and he's just again like just absorbing it all and just sort of like appreciating what he's like seeing. Just like this seems nice. Like this seems like something I could or I would want to maybe be a part of. But it's that kind of like tragedy where he himself kind of believes that he can't really be part of it because he's just so molded into being just the unstoppable force that he can't really like be human as much as the rest of them. And I think what the scene that surprised me the most, I think, was that moment between him and Sandra where she asks him, like, what are you feeling now? Like, are you feeling anything right now? And you just see him kind of like think about it for a second. And he finally talks and he says like fear and discipline. And like, she's like, you feel that? And he's like, yeah, like all the time. And that's, I think, the first moment where he sort of kind of like reveals his inner turmoil or his inner emotions to somebody rather than just like hiding it. Like he actually kind of like opens up just a bit to her. And again, like with that hug that DJ mentioned, yeah, like I really like that moment where like you see him shake and shiver from it because he's never experienced that kind of like affection before, and like he's sort of taken aback by that, and he's almost like startled by it. What the hell is she doing? Like, what is she doing to me? And
Yeah,
like, I appreciate that like little bit of acting from him. So
Yeah.
and like even the tears too, like the tears, I was even surprised by that. I was not expecting him to actually cry I thought he would just be like that stoic kind of guy, just like, yeah, it's for the best. But to actually see him like show that like high level of emotion with just like that tear, and you just see him like confused by what he's like doing. I thought that was like really well done, and I was like, oh, all right. I'm like, well, there's a reason why everybody likes Kurt Russell, why he's like renowned as such a great actor. It's because of that moment right there. So, yeah, I think like, he did a phenomenal job in this movie.
No, he did, and even from because he wasn't around violence all the time. And one of the things I did love, and DJ, you had touched on this, and you were saying how he was able to show emotion, but still just, keep himself in as a character. But anytime he got a compliment or somebody said something, he was always in like almost like fight mode. Like, when the guy gave him the scarf, he ended up throwing the guy, the guy was just, trying to give him a compliment for saving him. But he had so much, trauma that he was dealing with that it was kind of hard for him to decompress it and really realize he was around people who cared about him and who actually wanted to help him. So I thought that was cool.
Well, like other moment where like the guy like pats him on the shoulder or whatever. He's like, "Hey, buddy, thanks for doing that." He like turns around quickly at him, like I like that. Because I was like, dude, you better be careful, man. He could like literally choke slam you right now. Like, calm down.
Yeah, yeah. Like he can mess all of us up in here right now.
Yeah, and like I also DJ mentioned Dread. I was gonna say like and like Halo 2, like the Halo series did a great job with that. Oh wait, no, it didn't because he kept taking off the damn mask.
And the rest of the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing something like that, I recommend watch the game version because that one's made better than the show.
Oh yeah, nobody disagrees with that.
And I gotta say, Kurt Russell did an awesome job with his workout routine for this role too.
He did. That boy was crucial. That boy was cold, man. I liked that.
I was like, damn, that's the body. I was like watching that. I'm like, see, that's the body I'm aspiring to get to. It'll take a while, but I'm aspiring to get that.
when I saw this movie, like, in the pre 2000s, 98, 99, 2000, I remember thinking, like that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, not Guardians of the Galaxy, but when they find like Thor, and Drax goes, "This is a man." Like that's a man right there.
He's like, no,
that was me as a kid. Yeah.
This is a man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was built kind of right. Third, describe Todd's character throughout the film. What surprised you about him as the movie progressed?
I mean, yeah, again, props to Kurt Russell, man, because that's as stoic as you can get, as a human character. Because the funny thing is, like, if you would have told someone like, oh no, like he's a cyborg, you would have thought so, because man, like how stoic he is throughout the movie, and then in those moments of humanity, like where that stoicism like starts to break, man, like he did an amazing job of just being a soldier, the whole time. And then he has those moments. Like the movie does an incredible job of showing us those moments where his like stoicism just kind of like doesn't break down, but you get to see that, oh yeah, like he is a human. He's just a drilled soldier, And for me, like the biggest moment is, he has those moments throughout the movies where you see like that humanity, like question, like what's going on, because he is a soldier and that's all he's ever known. But of course, for me, the big moment is the end, with the child. And for those who haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. But yeah, the big like, oh snap, he is a human, is towards the end, which to me, like, this movie is like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, type acting, and that's because
Yeah.
in Terminator
Mhm.
he is a machine. Kurt Russell is not, but damn, does he do a good job making it seem like he is a machine, because he is a soldier, like army machine.
And the only thing he knew was "sir." He would even say it to Susan, like
Mhm.
"sir." He would, like,
And that's like one of my actual favorite line in the movie is when the girl is saying like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" "I'm going to kill them all, sir." Like
Yeah.
that's just like that was when I saw that. Like my wife was next to me, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was like the moment the audience cheered when I was at the theater for it.
yeah,
hell
heck yeah,
Like,
heck yeah.
it was just like, I mean, if the first 10-15 minutes was brutal, hearing that was also brutal on a different level.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
you
nah.
believed him. You looked at him. You were like, I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe
because
you.
he
I
has
believe
this
you,
like,
man.
he's got this just like dead look in his face and his eyes the entire freaking time,
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing how he was able to do that throughout the entire freaking movie. I mean, I don't know how many takes that took, but
And when I was watching it this time, sorry,
No, go ahead,
one of
DJ,
the
go
things
ahead.
that
You fine,
one of the things that I noticed too was how often he had a childlike expression on his face.
Mhm.
Like even though he was in his 40s, he hadn't progressed past childhood.
brother.
There was
Oh.
like, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but there was a certain look that kept popping up every so often, and it was like, to me it looked very childlike. Like,
He had
But you're
that.
right,
He had
though.
that
Like,
look a couple times, DJ. He
it's
did.
hard to describe. Like, he just had this blank, confused child face.
I'm not gonna lie. One of the funniest things in this film to me is when they were playing with the child. He just got up and he just looked at him like, "For real, bro, I'm here trying to rescue y'all." He was like, "We just playing with the boy." He just looked at him and then it just cut away like.
Walk back.
And then it's crazy how his instincts kick in, because when he was like, "We made you like a crutch to help you walk," and they start playing that music, like, "Oh, don't!" I said, "Man, don't take that from him and beat him with it."
I thought he was going to attack him because he thought it was a weapon, and then he like shows him like, yeah, for a crutch, and you kind of see Kurt Russell kind of like,
Yeah, I was like, no, don't do it.
yeah.
I was like, don't do it. All right, Kat, I'm coming to you. Outside of Todd, who was your favorite character in this film and why?
Oh boy. I have to say I mean, to be quite honest, I love Todd as a character, but I would say that the guy, the Chinese guy who was like really bulked up.
Kane.
I think
Kane.
Kane. Yeah, Kane. I think he looked really like interesting as a not just Todd, but he looks to me more like a killing machine. He's
Bro, it's huge.
he's like a mix between like professional wrestling, because I don't think he reminds me of a little bit of some like some WWE superstars, the way he shows like fear and power against Todd and all the other characters, because this is like an interesting rival for Todd, because you can see two sides. One that is basically now former soldier, now protector of humanity, whereas that is now the ultimate weapon, who's basically used for killing people. And he does not take actions. He just does it. He's just like, it's just so brutal as a character, which I tend to love. As a person who loves villains, they always get like the time to shine. That's what I like about Kane. You can, but I was like surprised that he would get like one eye after he battled with Todd.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was
like,
crazy. Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow, that guy is a monster. But then in the end, he just get owned. That's why I have to say he just basically got his ass kicked by the end. So that's what happened. When you're a villain, you lose.
sometimes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
DJ outside of Todd, who was your favorite character and why?
Well, before I get to that, real quick,
Okay.
Kane was played by Jason Scott Lee,
Yes.
who a year or two
Oh.
before this movie came out played Bruce Lee in Dragon to Bruce Lee story. So he's
Really?
another. He had to bulk up for this role because
Yeah.
he had to be small and tight for Bruce Lee. So
He did a damn good
Pretty
job.
sure they
yeah,
put like muscle drugs into him, or they have to do a lot of training. That's just me guessing.
I think I don't know, but
Well,
I'm pretty sure he.
It's Hollywood, so you never know. You never
Yeah.
know if he actually trained or they were like, all right,
Uh,
here's another shot.
So
I mean, look at the Rock. Let's be honest.
yeah, well,
I mean,
Yeah.
it was the late '90s though, not not quite
Yeah.
as jacked up as it is in the 2000s.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of actors that were very like, I'm gonna do this myself, or I don't do the role.
Yeah, that too. I'm not saying that like he did it because like I believe Jason Scott Lee because like isn't he also like a pretty renowned like martial artist / actor as well?
I think so.
Yeah, so like I would believe that he would definitely bulk up on his own because I'm like, well, he's already fit because he's already a martial artist, so I
Yeah.
would believe that he
Mhm.
bulked up on his own.
They got-
Because he wasn't
they
like
got-
ripped, but he was, he bulked up.
Yeah.
So
And they
Right.
got good genetics too. They do have really good genetics.
yeah. But going back to the question, there's a couple characters that stood out to me.
Okay.
One is the husband who befriends Todd.
Mace, I think Mace is his name.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like his journey through all this too is pretty interesting because he's trying to show sympathy towards Todd's character or Todd, while also at the same time trying to protect his own family, and trying to just still live out their lives like normal and stuff. And then obviously the wife was another good character because she could have easily been like, no, we ain't letting this psychopath in our home, like we're not going to help him, we're not going to do anything. But she was in line with her husband and did what she could to like humanize Todd, show him and help him to experience things that he never.
Right.
Well, almost everybody else in the whole village was just like, okay, yeah, I'll wave hi to you, but stay like 20 feet away from me. And then the other character that I really appreciated was Michael Chiklis. He's always a good actor.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate what his character did in the movie too. So I'm glad that he was one of the ones that survived.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
A lot of those guys were dying at the very end of the movie. I was like, oh my god, are there going to be any of these people left by the time
I know.
that was
I
over?
was like, what? I was like, man.
I'm like, this is to save. I'm like, Todd, what are you doing, man?
And then of course the one guy that I was like, the one guy I was actually surprised that survived was the one that he had the gun on Todd right away, like, and was always extremely nervous around him. I never caught his name or anything, but he.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know who you. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he would.
Yeah, and then they're on the ship. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they made. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's an issue for later talk.
Remy, outside of Todd, who was your favorite character in this film and why?
Well, DJ mentioned Mace's character. I liked him too. I thought he was interesting because on the one hand, you have him being very sympathetic and like trying to help Todd, but also like I do like that moment of like honesty between him and his wife where he's like, I want to help him, yeah, but I'm terrified of him. Like I could feel like he could break me in half. And I do appreciate about that his character, but like, yeah, like he's trying to be a nice guy, but also he's just as scared as the rest of the
Don't mean to cut you off, Remy. you guys might can help me with this. Wasn't Mace able to recognize he was a soldier? Didn't he tell Suzanne that? Didn't he tell us?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he
I
saw.
wanted to make sure I heard it right. I was like, okay, he
Yeah.
recognized. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it was either the scars or it was the little.
The war,
No,
Yeah.
okay.
all the tattoos on his arm.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
she was asking about
Who's it?
that, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, those
Right,
he's a
right,
soldier.
okay.
He's a lieutenant. He's a soldier. That's why they kept calling him lieutenant because they recognized.
sergeant."
Yeah, sergeant. I bet no lieutenant. Yeah. But yeah, I liked Mace's character. Michael Chiklis was a good addition. I was actually surprised he was in this movie. It took me a second at first. I was like, I feel like I've seen him before, and then I realized, oh, it's him, because of course, being a kid, I've seen the two Fantastic Four movies, so he was in them. Honestly, he's the best part of those movies, by the way. That's the thing.
I think this was around his commish era, so like his name was just starting to rise.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but I really appreciate him in this movie. Another surprising appearance was freaking, what was his name? Garrett Busey. I had no idea. I was like, Garrett Busey, what the hell?
And he was a good guy.
Yeah, he was actually a decent guy. I was like, that's surprising. I thought he was going to be a complete
He
a-hole
has some
for
good
the whole
lines.
movie. I was like, no, he actually has a conscience, and he's dead. Okay.
Yeah, because he had a conscience.
I hated. I actually hated that he died. Actually.
I know, I was upset. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was pretty cool because it's Garrett Busey. You can't go wrong with him. And then Kane, I thought was a pretty decent foil for Todd. He was a good villain. He felt pretty intimidating to me. Like, I'm looking at a big buff guy like that. Of course, I'm really freaking intimidated looking at him. I'm like, you're good. I'm gonna back up now. Like, honestly, almost all the new soldiers I thought were pretty like scary looking, because I was like, oh, you manufactured them. Okay, that makes sense. They're not even human. They're just monsters. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, but yeah, those are some of my favorite characters, I guess, in the movie. Besides Todd.
Nah, good deal. Remember, good answer, bro. Third, outside of Todd, who was your favorite character and why?
You know what? I agree with all y'all on like what y'all chose, but man, I think the main kid did a damn good job.
Mhm.
Like that kid was just as stoic as Todd himself. Like a kid of
That was a cool moment in the film.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he had.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like Todd and the kid. I don't remember his name. It's like they had their
Nathan.
own.
Yeah, Nathan.
There you go.
Nathan.
Like they had their own trauma, and they were both just like, I mean, obviously stoic as all hell. Todd as a soldier, and then the kid as whatever he'd gone through himself. And I mean, that kid just kept a straight face the whole damn time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Even at the end, being as stoic as he did, and then doing the whole like, like damn, like that
Yeah.
almost comes out of nowhere, and he still has the same expression. Like literally, like the kid, it was like, I mean, if the kid is always like that, it was like the easiest acting job he ever had to do, because it was just like he just had the same face the entire movie, but it fit so well. And it did that character's it did that character justice. And so for me, like after Kurt Russell, I give props to the kid, man, because it's just amazing for a kid that young being able to just keep that same face the entire damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it was definitely some great characters in this movie, and it was definitely some great scenes in this movie, which brings me to my next question or questions for you, Kyle. Describe what was your favorite action scenes / fatalities in this movie? Because there's a lot of fatalities in this movie.
Yeah. My God, there's going to be like tough choices to answer. But if I had to pick one, I would have to say, the chain, the chain climbing scene. That was like, my God, that was like so intense.
That was brutal.
Like you could see, like, I couldn't imagine that they must be like having their hands like all like bruised and like climbing all the time while filming. It's like you could see like Kane and Todd and the other soldier are like going at him. It's like two gorillas fighting up on top of a vine, trying to climb their way to the treetop. Is what I think it is. It's like so vicious. It's like they're way high and they're gonna like land on the hard floor, which is like you kind of feel concerned for Todd, as like you don't want him to die. But when they land on the floor, I was like, it's probably gonna be like way worse when you visit the hospital. So it's like, my God, I have no idea that'll be that crazy, but dang, that was really brutal and cool.
Yeah, nah, that was and especially at the beginning too, a way to kick off the movie. And Kane held his own too. Like, I mean, he was a really strong soldier. Not to mention that when he had the 20-minute head start, and here come Kane, laps him. That was crazy as well. Like, what kind of freaking machine are you? You know, even and I mean, Todd was one of the best. They even say he was one of the best men that they had, and so no, that was definitely a great scene. What about you, DJ? What are some of your favorite scenes and fatalities from this film?
Yeah, there was definitely some good ones.
Yeah.
I like when the soldiers, the enemy soldiers, are chasing the wife up into the room, and he's coming around the corner, and there's Kurt Russell with the rocket launcher.
That's my favorite one. They just show all the family, and they just show him.
and then the fact that so many people died to the fake machine gun sniper that he set up.
Oh, that was great.
Like, they're all charging it and actually getting hit and killed. It's like, what the heck? And then they finally get up there, and he's like, okay, and just blow them all up. And then I would say the fate that he did in his final fight with Kane.
Oh yeah, that was
where
cool.
He looked at the hook on the ground to get him to look away, and then pulls the helicopter blade down.
Yes, sir.
Oh man,
that was crazy. I jumped when he did that. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Even Kane was surprised. He got off guard by that. He was like, "What the hell?" Like, down, half his guts are like on the floor.
Yeah, that was crazy. When he did that, I kind of jumped like, ooh.
You gotta give credit to Anderson for all those fatality moves that he does with so many of his movies. It's like I could tell that he really loves video game fatalities. Just like you can just tell when he makes those movies.
Yeah, these fatalities was on point, and they kept happening back to back. It was one in this movie where it happened with the helicopter blade. I can't remember how it played out, but he did something in the blade. I was like, oh, that was tight.
Oh, yeah, the blade blew off and just
yeah,
and like stabs on the
that was brutal. That was brutal.
And then, of course, the nuke going off and blowing up the evil guy right in his face.
What is it? I think it's 6'7".
He's like, walk away, and he like puts in 7'6", and then you just hear.
Well, that was crazy. It was some crazy fatalities.
I do appreciate how they showed him peeing his pants too.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
That was a little bit silly, but kind of cool.
Remy, what was your favorite action scenes and fatalities in this movie?
I did like the train fight too. I would agree with Kyle. I did like the train duel that they had in the beginning of the movie, and of course, I think the best one is just like the entire end finale with Todd going up against all the soldiers, and you just have the commanders like freaking the hell out. They're like, "What? Like, what is taking them all out? Like, do they have like a huge squadron with them?" And I have no idea that it's just Todd by himself taking one after the other. And like, I think one of my favorite. Before I get to that, I like Gary Busey's little mention where he's like, "Oh, I guess you should have made them smart and not just fast."
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Good side comment. And then I love that fatality where I guess one of the fatalities is when you have like one of the soldiers like moving up and you have like the green flares going off and one of them lights up and you see Todd get like illuminated for like a split second by it. And then you just see him like stab the guy in the eye with it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh,
crazy,
man.
bro. And going in the water, I was like, oh man, that was crazy.
And I love the part too where like he's driving the huge driller and he flips over a bus and the bus literally crushes two guys. I was like, God.
But remember, you know what's crazy about that? What was funny was Kane was talking to him the whole time.
I know. I love that. He was like,
Acknowledged.
He's like, drill two. You're moving towards me. You're about to collide. Affirmative.
Yeah.
he's like, I know I am. I don't care. God, man. Yeah, and of course, like Kane's fatality too was pretty neat. Like I like the blade coming down, and then you just see like Todd go over him and choke him out, and you just see the look on his face, like, yeah, finish it, break his neck.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a lot of like when it was action to me, in my opinion, throughout the movie, but towards that final scene, everything just like picked up. They started going crazy. Serg, what was some of your favorite action scenes and fatalities in this movie?
Well, like several others said, like that chain fight in the very beginning of the movie, like yeah, that's just brutal. But then of course, like Remy, for me, the final fight, and I think I really liked the final fight scene because there's almost this acknowledgement to yes. What's his name, King?
Yeah.
That soldier is technically stronger, is technically more proficient than Todd. But Todd, like, Gary Busey says, is smarter.
Yeah.
Is more, like we would say, tech savvy, like fight savvy, versus the other soldiers. So he's able to, we see him do the fake out for that, whatever it is, the scythe, that's what I say, to distract Kane, and then finally use the helicopter blade to really, set things in motion for him to win. And, those kind of things are just, they're just awesome. That whole fight scene is awesome because you can see that Todd is at a disadvantage, strength-wise. And he has to use his smarts as a soldier versus the strength of a super soldier against him and win in the end. And that ingenuity is just awesome to see.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. The in its sequence, like we touched on, was really, 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 really good. And I loved a lot of the scenery in this movie too, from how it's raining, how they out in the sun, and how it's like daylight almost outside when he first gets dropped off. And then another intense scene I forgot about too is when they were out. I don't know where they're at, but they were out, and that wind started picking up, and that thing started rolling. Man, I thought for sure he was gone. And that's when Todd came, and they was like looking at how strong he was because he was the one that was pulling. Because they all was pulling, they all looked back like, "What the world?" And it was him just pulling that whole entire time. But no, I definitely had fun with this movie. So DJ, I'm glad you picked this movie, brother. Really, really good film that I enjoyed. Final two questions. Kyle, what did you learn from this movie? And out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
What I learned about from this movie is that there's like sometimes you don't have to be all tough. You could just open up to other people to where how you feeling. Like from the moment he started to feel fear, and now you could just open up to people who are trying to help you, which is a really good thing. And I can express that with myself because I had a lot of people in my life who helped me during my time from coming from school all the way over to work. It's like their people are like watching over me, and I can relate that to Todd. And it's all about like opening up to others. That's what this movie is all about. You don't have to keep following orders. You could just basically express what you really need. You need some help, and that's basically what this movie is. I would rate this. I wanted to give like a 3. I really want to give like a 4 out of 5, but I would give it a 3 and 5 because just because there's like a little bit of dialogue, which is totally fine, but I think there's like sometimes the villain's motives you can understand that he's planning to cause terror, but we don't really. There's not much info about the villain, just mostly a lot on the Todd, because the commander doesn't like appear. He just basically throughout the entire movie, just mostly like from the beginning, and then later he comes at the end of the final battle, which is very similar to like Scar King to me. Like Scar King, for example, he doesn't appear into the movie until like halfway through the film. And I could definitely see maybe they could have like maybe had a little info to the commander. But it's just fun.
All right, good. No, good deal. DJ, what about you, brother? What did you learn from this movie? And out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
I learned. I don't know what I learned. I know I enjoyed the movie. And it's kind of like I said, it's kind of a scary idea of, what could potentially happen and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've seen it a bunch of times, so I don't know. I don't know if I learned anything, but I would say I'd give it a 5 out of 5. I really enjoy the movie. It's not something that I feel like I have to watch all the time, but I always enjoy it. I feel all the beats hit me the same way each time. Like on the emotional spectrum and stuff. And yeah, so
yeah, no, I agree with you, DJ. I'll give it 5 out of 5 as well. I think as I was watching this film, I don't want to say that Todd gets rejected twice, but in a sense he does, because at the beginning he gets dropped off and dumped, and he's still alive. He's not dead, but they pretty much they leave him for dead. But then when he's teaching the little boy how to kill the snake, they also let him go as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the Mace eventually comes back and like, hey, we were wrong. We want him back. We want to have him back. So I feel like, in this movie, I feel like he just kept going and kept pushing himself, and I think he got the ending that he deserved. And at by the end of the movie, he became the man. So, no, this was a great movie to me. I give it 5 out of 5, man. Remy, what about you? If you learned anything from this film, what did you learn? And out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
Well, I guess like in terms of what I learned, I would say like this is not like anything groundbreaking, but like a lot of movies kind of cover this concept is that like what makes a good soldier is not someone who, or it's not an individual that only seeks war or violence or destruction, but what makes a good soldier is, or really what makes a good man is someone who has a good balance between discipline and showcasing violence, but also showing compassion and showing empathy and using that strength to fight for something bigger than yourself. I would say, because that's I think the dichotomy between Kane's character and Todd is that Todd learns to embrace his humanity and fight for something much larger than just himself and just like some mission. Well, I guess he become his mission. Meanwhile, Kane is just hell bent on just total destruction and just following orders. And Todd goes against his orders for the betterment of others because that's what he feels is right, and that's what he's like acquired in the movie. And in terms of what I would give it out of 5, I'd give this a 3 out of 5. I think it's a decent watch. It's entertaining. I had a few issues with it here and there. Like I thought, although the characters were good and all, I thought that most of the side characters were just kind of like just kind of there. I was like, yeah, they have their little moments, but like I kind of wanted like a bit more from them. So like I thought they could have done a bit more with those characters. I would also say like too, I think the kind of like editing or the structure of the movie kind of like started to fall apart a bit in the finale. Like you would have those scenes between the generals where they would be kind of like sympathetic towards the clan or towards the colony that they're attacking, but then they would cut back to them and they would be acting like all nonchalant about it. Like, okay, what is your character right now? Are you frightened for these people, or do you just not care? Like, pick one. Like, I thought that was
well, the problem is Gary Busey's character was like, was questioning the other guy's commands because, he was like, there's a possibility we're going to run into innocent people. Like, he acknowledged that was a possibility that they wouldn't actually encounter hostile forces, but the other guy's like, I don't care. Anybody that we encounter, we can't let them see us, so we're going to classify them as hostile forces. And being a military person, like unfortunately, you have to take the higher, ranking officer's command sometimes, and that's where, his Gary Busey's attitude changed a bit, but he was still poking at him. Like, even though he was acting nonchalant, he's like, basically saying like, this is going to blow up in our faces. And he did it so much, that's why the guy turned around and shot him.
Yeah. I don't think it was, like I understand Gary Busey's part, but I think it was also the other two that I was kind of confused by, because they also were on his side at some points, and they weren't, and then they were, and they weren't, and they kept flip-flopping back.
Yeah.
Like, pick one. Like, I had a problem with that. And like, two, I didn't like that at the very end of the movie when they like left the planet, they don't show them like putting the colony into the ship at all. So you're just assuming that they left them on the planet at first. You're like, did they all die? And then they show them on the ship. And I'm like, where was this that? I'm like, come on, dude. So
they were on a time crunch.
Yeah, but they can still show it. And then at the very end, when it said directed by Paul Anderson, I'm like, now it makes more sense. Because honestly, I'm not really a big fan of Paul Anderson's films, especially his editing, because he can barely hold on a shot for like a second. It's always like cut. Like if you watch those later Resident Evil movies and Monster Hunter, oh my God, the editing in those movies is freaking horrendous. I'm like, dude, calm down. Let a shot breathe, my man. Like, yeah, but other than that, like, I still enjoyed it. But I watch it again. Yeah, I'd watch it again. I had fun with it. Kurt Russell is the best part of it. I really liked Kane. So yeah, like I still had a good time with the film. There were just some issues I had with it.
Okay, no, good deal, Remy.
Look at you some tissues.
Yeah. Sorry, if there's anything you learned from this film, what did you learn? And also, out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
I would say what I learned from this movie is that practical effects are still the best.
Cool.
As an old 90s movie, yeah, practical effects. I will take those over CGI any day. Especially for this movie. Also, your main character doesn't need to be a be all end all badass character. You know, like we obviously got to see that his who he was up against, Kane, was technically a stronger, more efficient character, but that doesn't mean that it's the better character and the character that will come out on top in the end. As with Todd, what I think the movie was pushing at was you have super soldiers and then you have real soldiers, the soldiers that have actually gone through stuff and know how to maneuver themselves through certain situations, right? Rating, I mean, I love this movie when I saw it in the 90s, early 2000s. I still love it now. It still has those moments where I'm like, oh, damn, that's hardcore, you know? And I just really enjoy it every single time I watch it. You know, so 5 out of 5 for me. Like, for me, Soldier is a classic movie. So.
Yeah, it's a really really good movie. It's definitely something that I would watch again, and I am gonna watch again. And again, DJ, this was your pick, so it's an awesome pick by you, brother. So definitely appreciate that. And there you have it. That's the end of our movie review of Soldier. So those who are watching us or checked us out, we greatly appreciate it. And let us know if this is a film that you have seen or haven't seen, and if you have, let us know what you think about it. And we definitely recommend this film for you guys to go and check out. And before we log off, got to give it to my brother DJ so he can tell you guys what he has going on over on this channel. So DJ, the floor is yours, brother.
Thank you. We've got absolutely nothing going on. I'm just kidding. So yeah, just the other day we had a review of Blood the Last Vampire. That was our movie review last week, and had a great conversation. Also continued our talk about Kamen Rider Zets and that awesome show. So this coming Friday, we are going to be continuing our discussion or review of the Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040 anime series. And so we'll be doing episodes 11 through 15. And
10 through 15.
Huh?
Is it 10 through 15?
No, 11 through 15. We did 6 through 10 the last time.
Oh, okay.
5 at a time, buddy.
I was checking because on Friday you said 10 through 15.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was your mistake.
I'm pretty sure I said 11, but whatever.
Oh god.
Might need to clean your ears out.
Yeah, but 11, but okay, fine, whatever. 11.
And then we'll also be talking about the newest episode of Kamen Rider Zets that came out yesterday. And so we'll be continuing that. So that's what we got going on this Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time on YouTube and Rumble.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. We greatly would appreciate that. Pretty cool channel with a lot of great and awesome content. And with that being said, we're getting ready to log out. I'm Donald.
Kyle.
Remy. I'm DJ.
Did you actually do it? Wow. You actually did that.
Sure.
You just have to change your name.
Oh, hang on.
Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Sure.
I got log on too. Hang on. I got log on too. DJ.
All right, we got 2 Remy's on the screen. Donald, Kyle, third, Remy, and Remy.
He's Remy. I'm DJ now. I gotta change my profile.
Well, according to you, I'm Donald. So
that was
I'm Serge now.
Oh man!
You two look alike. I can't tell the difference.
Everybody go to sleep.
Oh man!
I am tired.
Hey, you guys have a good night. Peace.
See that?
These are the eyes